Good morning from the Red Meadow campground and lake. There was a loon floating around out there earlier, but I can't find him now. I'm all ready to go. And Lee's still got his tent up. Morning.
I'm not ready because I made the mosquito pancakes this morning.
Oh, yeah. Were they good?
I would have preferred huckleberry pancakes, but I couldn't find any huckleberries up there.
Yeah.
So I just used mosquitoes instead because there was a surplus of those.
Yeah. High protein.
Yeah.
Yeah. Picnic table's all wet.
It's all nasty.
Anyway, we're going to be headed towards Eureka, which is 6 miles from the border of Canada. That's our big goal today. It'll be a long day, 62 miles, 3,000 feet, something in that realm. But we felt like it would be nice to get to Eureka and maybe snag a hotel room rather than sleep outside again. So we got some outside days in Canada, a few of them, probably in the rain. That's what the forecast is saying, rain.
Oh boy.
So, cheers.
Good morning. It is July 29th, day 61 on the Great Divide. We are currently going northbound. As you know, we started on the 30th of May. We're going to be in Eureka today, just a few miles from the border. We'll cross the border tomorrow, and then 4 days into Banff. So really exciting. We got a temperature of 54 degrees this morning. We're descending down the mountain from the Red Meadow campground, where we survived another night outdoors without being a grizzly tater tot. There was some deer like 20 feet from my tent this morning around 3 o'clock. And I can hear them like munching and walking around out there. That kind of freaked me out. So I threw open my tent flap with my flashlight, and it was just a deer. And then I think, well, it's probably all right to go back to sleep. But yeah, it's a nice bluebird day. Check back in a few. So we're about 15 miles from the Canadian border. However, our route takes us 50 more miles before we cross. That's kind of the nature of our route. Circuitous. Seeing some nice mountains up there. Kind of been in the trees all day, so there's not much to see. We're just crossing Moose Creek here. And we're kind of in a area that has lots of residential properties again. This is Whale Creek. This is the North Fork, the Flathead River. Man, it's pretty. It's so clear. You can see everything underneath there. Got some mountains looming up there in the distance. We just passed the second of 3 cabins, 4 service cabins you can rent along here. There's one more. We didn't try to because they're in high demand. It looks like that might be Kent La Peak poking up right there. King Edward's Peak.
And then Starvation Peak right next to it.
And Starvation Peak right next to it. So we're going to swing around to the west and then go south. So we're kind of doing an S here this morning. Check back in a few. All right, we just turned up Trail Creek Road. We're headed towards Two Chuck Campground. It's 9 miles. This is about an 18-mile climb, but it should be pretty gradual, nothing major. I can see my shadow, so that means we're going west again. No matter how hard I try to catch it, it's always one step ahead of me.
He tries. I see him.
We're kind of back in the trees again. We're still in the predominantly tamarack forest. And it's absolutely gorgeous. There's some big ones lurking around too. We turned off that main gravel road. The side roads are always much better. They're not quite so beat up. So there's a bear right there. It's a black bear. See him running through the forest right there? All right, that was super cool. I don't know if the viewer saw it, but that's our first bear. Check back in a few. All right, we're still working our way up Trail Creek Road. Getting closer to the Two Chuck Campground. That was a possible target for yesterday, but it didn't really give us any advantage, so we stayed up there at the pretty lake. Leslie likes these rock bluffs. She thinks there's the mountain lion sitting up there waiting to pounce on us.
Yeah. It's up there with Sasquatch. Oh, hey, listeners. He has a trail name now.
Yeah, the
Not
blonde.
sure if we introduced it yet.
Yeah, the blonde Sasquatch. Pigpen and the blonde Sasquatch.
Woohoo! Dry it all up.
Interesting. Usually they all have water.
Yesterday, all the small ones had water, and then there was that big piece like that that didn't have it.
I know, that was weird.
I was trying to figure that out.
All right, check back in a few. We're gonna keep our eye out for mountain lions here. Nature pulled a fast one on us. We were climbing up the Trail Creek Road and there was a lot of water in that drainage. And then it popped us up this drainage and it's dry. This looks like a high maintenance area right here. And a massive fire came through here and just wiped out this canyon. Some number of years ago, I don't know when. But yeah, this canyon's kind of barren. That's the cool thing about the divide. Every mile brings a little something different. There's so many surprises around the next corner. We're still headed up the same drainage, but we're out of the area that had the fire. There's a ton of water in the creek again. So somewhere this drainage goes underground for like a mile and then comes back up to the surface, because that whole section in there was dry. Very interesting. We made it to Two Chuck Campground. We are going to ride on to Eureka. We just passed a teacher from New York, two ladies I think from the UK, and we passed another pair of ladies earlier, but we didn't stop and say hi to them. So we've seen 5 southbounders today. So yeah, there's still quite a people starting the Great Divide and heading south. Pretty amazing. Check back in a few. Still making our way up the drainage here, and had this really neat area down there. No doubt some beaver activity. I see a beaver hut right there, kind of in the middle. At least an old one. The fire didn't reach up this far, so yeah, it looks a lot different without the fire. That would be a cool place to see a grizzly bear running around down there, but I don't see one today. Pretty valley. Still climbing.
Still climbing. The side of the mountain.
Yeah, that's an interesting feature. Fresh water right out of the side of the mountain.
Some water.
Are you thirsty?
Let me check my bag. I still got plenty.
You got enough? Okay.
For now.
Pretty cool.
So cool. You got lots?
I got plenty. All right. So we've just been pedaling up this drainage, and we're almost at the top. This is the last climb that we do in the United States and on this map. We switched to the Canadian map in the morning. We crossed the border, and then 4 days to get to Banff. So super excited. Check back in a few. All right. There's our saddle. On the top of this climb. These two mountains are coming together right here. We'll slip over the saddle in between them. And then we really make a run for the border. A little bit bittersweet that this is the last climb that we're going to do in the U.S. on the Great Divide. At least the last categorized climb. Just like that, we're going downhill. We're going to coast to the border. But that's tomorrow. The border crossing is tomorrow's adventure. We are going left to Highway 93. We now have kind of like a single lane pavement for our final stretch into Eureka. So nice. A little bit of a headwind, but we're used to that. That's what we've had since Rawlings mostly. It looks like the fire came up over the mountain and cut across here, because I see more burn scars up there. We just passed the bicycle station. It's a place we could have stayed tonight, but we decided to do the 12 more miles into Eureka. The riding hasn't been all that hard today, and it is only 1:42. So we continue our journey to Eureka. And then the border crossing tomorrow, short day, and then 3 more days to Banff. So the journey's almost over. Leslie's got mega legs today. There she goes. She does that to me the whole trip. Just comes blasting by. I'm back here struggling to keep the pedals moving over. It is warm this afternoon. My Garmin says 91.8, but we can feel the heat coming off the asphalt. But yeah, pretty corner of the world here. Would have never got to see it unless I was on a bicycle. And unless I do this route again, it's very likely I never come back here. The earth is a ginormous wonderland for everybody to get out there and check it out. There you go, Uncle Dallas. Nice old farm set up there. That's the old tow behind grader. Wonder what it was like operating one of those. All right, see you in a few. All right, now we're on the old Tobacco Road. And over here on my right, we have an upscale Hartzell lot with a little bit more sophisticated equipment over there. Railroad! Good morning, it's July 30th, Day 62 on the Great Divide. We're just rolling out of Eureka. We got about 8 miles, so we'll cross the border into Canada and then start pedaling our way towards Fernie. It's a bluebird morning. It's supposed to be in the 85 to 90s today. But looking forward to another great day on the bike. Check back at the border. There's a good look at where we're headed.
Here we are, about 3 miles from the border. It's a beautiful morning. Can't believe we're this close. There's Lee. Mountains all around. Green fields. It's quite lovely. Coming up on the border. Oh my God, so exciting. Woo!
All right, we're here at the border. I'll have to turn the camera off when we cross through. But yeah, Leslie and I just pedaled across the United States. So that's pretty awesome. And just like that, we are in Canada. The border crossing took all of 1 minute. Couple questions, look at the passport, and we're riding. Ron, your hat's gonna have to wait till we come back. You can't buy anything in that duty-free store and then go to Canada. So we'll stop back in there on our way out. We are headed to the Kookanusa Viewpoint Trail in Canada. Very nice. Check back in a few. Cattle guard.
Canadian cattle guard. That was for you, Ron. Cheers.
Cheers. We are about 27 miles in for the day. Kind of riding through some bull pine. Nice gravel road. We're going to jump back out on that Highway 93 that we rode on across the border. We had a few miles this morning, and then this kind of went around part of it, and we're going to jump back on it for a few more miles here shortly and continue our way a little bit northwest towards Banff. Fernie's the goal for today. There's quite a few stops in between. We get tired. It's going good so far. Check back soon. Just coming into Elko, and we're gonna see if we can get some lunch here at the restaurant. Maybe ice cream.
We're here at the 3 and 93 Dairy Bar, which has burgers. We met up with the adventure van. And there's Lee. He's having
Bacon cheeseburger.
a bacon cheeseburger, and I have a veggie burger. It's a quite busy place. It's our first meal in Canada. Cheers.
All right, we're just leaving Elko. Looks like we're going up into these one of these canyons here. Should be good. We've kind of been on busy highways all morning since, well, really all the way since Eureka, and that's always kind of stressful. There's not much room, and cars and trucks go so fast. And anyway, feels like we're on a little quieter road here for a while, with some mountains around. We got about 24 miles to Fernie, British Columbia. We've pedaled 45 miles today. We are making our way up the Elk River. We got this nice gravel road on this side, and the highway is on the other side. And these two parallel kind of all the way up this drainage to Fernie, our destination for today. Pretty much since we left Eureka this morning, we're climbing all the way to just before Banff, and then we'll have a little downhill into Banff. So yeah, pretty much 3 or 4 days of constant climbing. There's no real big climbs. I think the biggest one's 800 feet. It's just a gradual uppy downy up, as Leslie would say, till we get to just before Banff. But this is a pretty canyon. It has some gnarly potholes. Check back in a few. All right. Stick it in the comments below. Are we gonna get wet before we get to Fernie? Mile 10. I don't know what that means. Still working our way up the Elk River on this fine gravel road that parallels the freeway on the other side. Kind of in the trees. Mountains on both sides of us. Pretty tall, pretty steep. All right. Check back in a few. There's some nice twist and fold on those rocks across the river there. This valley would have been a glacier. There's round river rock all the way up the side here, and it must have been pushed up by glaciers coming down through this valley back at the last glacial maximum. But all the way up the slope here, it's round river rock, gravel rock. It would have been fascinating to see this land 15,000 years ago, when it was covered in hundreds of feet of snow and ice. We haven't got wet yet, but it's trying. We got a little section of power line road here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And some really loud thunder.
Ready?
I'll follow you.
Probably be walking, so I'm not steep stuff.
There's the shot of the Elk River. We got thunder in the area. It hasn't started chucking down rain on us yet. And we just met a guy from Germany.
Simon?
Having trouble with his bags. We tried to help him out the best we could. Hopefully he has a good trip. He's got a long ways to go. And I think we got 13 more miles.
Something like that.
All right, we better get going. Check back in a few. Oh, look at this. We got the train. That's exciting. Canadian Pacific. Looks like the work crew. Perfect timing. We got a little new skyline there to look at in the distance. Pretty rugged mountains all around. We got some thunder in the area, but it's still not chucking down rain on us. We're here just on the outskirts of Fernie here. Fernie, British Columbia. It's very pretty right here. Gorgeous homes. A view of the mountain up there. Super green grass. All right, just coming into Fernie here. Now we got to find our lodging for the night and get settled in. Do it again tomorrow. I'm kind of tired.